I now would like to ask Professor Henry Samueli to address you.
Well, obviously, Susan and I are deeply honored to be bestowed with honorary doctorates from Tel Aviv University. Tau is one of the premier universities, not only in Israel, but in the world. And given that both Susan and I are graduates of the University of California, we certainly understand and value the profound impact that elite universities contribute to society as a whole. My personal ties to academia did not stop when I graduated from UCLA. I later became a faculty member in electrical engineering at UCLA, which even continues to today, even though I took a leave of absence from UCLA to be at Broadcom when it was founded. Susan and I also developed close ties with UC Irvine, which is near where we now live. She and I serve on advisory boards to the health sciences and engineering, and I also hold a distinguished adjunct professorship in the engineering school. We both created the Samueli Foundation in 1998 after Broadcom went public. And it should be no surprise that our largest philanthropic gifts over the life of the foundation have been to universities, and in particular, UCLA and UC Irvine. I can honestly say that Susan and I are very proud to have now added Tel Aviv University to that list. Our relationship with Tau did not just begin with our personal philanthropy, but actually much earlier through the Broadcom Foundation, which I happen to chair. The Broadcom Foundation was created in 2009, and our mission was to promote science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education, commonly known as STEM, in areas near major Broadcom locations. Since Israel, and in particular Tel Aviv, is a major R&D location for Broadcom, we began funding research projects at Tau. And later on, the Samueli Foundation created an endowment fund at UC Irvine to promote research exchange between UCI and Tau engineering faculty and students. And annual conferences were alternately held at UCI and Tau, where students and faculty would travel and present their work. And on Tuesday, we just celebrated the opening of the Broadcom Tau Engineering Building, an incredibly beautiful and significant addition to the Tau campus. It is our hope that this magnificent building will further cement the very strong relationship between Broadcom, the Broadcom Foundation, the Samueli Foundation, and Tel Aviv University. So you can clearly see that promoting academic research and collaboration between the US and Israel is a core value of Susan and my philanthropic passions. And we have further committed to that by endowing an engineering and health research fund here at Tel Aviv University, for which the inaugural conference was held earlier today. It was a very exciting and enjoyable event, and given that the research fund is endowed in perpetuity, it is certainly our hope that these wonderful conferences will continue forever. Over the last 20 years, internet accessibility has greatly expanded, and ubiquitous broadband connectivity is now widely available to most people on the planet. I'm proud to say that Broadcom played an important role in making that happen. In our corporate overview presentation, we proudly state that 99.9% of all internet traffic passes through at least one Broadcom chip. The availability of powerful computation and communication technologies is truly changing our lives. And it becomes even more important that we train future generations to effectively use these technologies to advance society for the better. Universities like TAU play a critical role in making this happen by performing leading-edge research and training our next generation of entrepreneurs and skilled workers. Information technology has pervaded virtually every field of endeavor, and as a result has created entirely new market and business opportunities. And the pace of change is rapidly accelerating. It is quite remarkable to think that only 10% of the companies that are listed in the S&P 500 index today even existed 50 years ago. The average lifespan of an S&P 500 company listing today is only 15 years. So about half of those listed firms will be replaced over the next 10 years by other more successful companies. These new additions are not by accident. These companies apply very clever innovation and often leveraging the latest information technology tools to create new markets and businesses that didn't exist in the previous generation. Just look at a few notable examples. Amazon completely disrupted the bricks and mortar shopping industry with online shopping and two-day home delivery. Apple completely disrupted the cell phone industry with a very clever touch screen interface with no buttons. I'm sure Nokia and Motorola regret missing that. Netflix completely disrupted the cable television broadcast industry with streaming content. Uber completely disrupted the taxi industry with driver-owned vehicles and a simple-to-use app. Facebook created an entirely new industry called social networking. Google completely disrupted traditional media advertising by creating online digital ads. Tesla disrupted the automobile industry with innovative electric cars. Airbnb disrupted the hotel industry by turning everyday households into rental properties. And many new disruptors are waiting in line, such as Bitcoin, which is trying to disrupt the entire banking industry with a new digital currency. Now, these examples highlight some of the most successful disruptors in recent memory, but for each one of these, there are literally thousands of smaller companies who are very innovative and successful in their own right. Just open the Apple or Google app stores and see the millions of apps created by thousands of companies and millions of individuals. This is a huge industry that simply didn't exist 20 years ago. There are many pessimists out there that speculate that with the advent of artificial intelligence and advanced robotics, that many jobs will be eliminated and replaced by automation, and as a result, unemployment will skyrocket. While it is certainly true that there will be a disruption due to automation, I have a much more optimistic view, and I believe that innovation will prevail. And although many jobs will be displaced, even more jobs will be created. As long as we have innovative thinkers and risk takers, we will have new businesses and industries being created. However, given the disruption in the types of jobs being created, it is ever more important that we educate our youth to be more technology literate. As George Bernard Shaw said, youth is wasted on the young. Well, let's not waste it. And Professor Schechtman clearly stated that in his remarks as well. Let's make sure to embed STEM education into our K through 12 curriculum to better prepare our youth for their future careers. Israel has a great reputation for innovation, being well known as the startup nation. And Tel Aviv University, Israel's largest university with over 30,000 students, is a major reason for that reputation, having educated a significant percentage of Israel's innovators. So to a great extent, I'm preaching to the choir here. The high-tech community in Israel certainly understands the value of a good STEM education. But even in Israel, just as in the US and most countries around the world, there is a large underserved population that does not always have access to the same opportunities as the rest of society. So it is incumbent upon all of us to work diligently to promote a quality education for all, so that we can lift everyone's standard of living equitably, because that will ultimately pave the road to peace and happiness. So in summary, Susan and I are very proud to be able to partner with Tel Aviv University to help you further advance your mission. For me, being the son of Polish Holocaust survivors, and for Susan, having deep Jewish family roots back to Poland, Hungary, and Russia, it is very important and meaningful to maintain deep and strong ties to Israel. We cherish every time we come to visit Israel, and this visit is extra special because of the events we are celebrating this week. Susan and I especially want to thank all of the friends and staff of TAU that contributed to hosting these very memorable events. We truly appreciate the hard work that you put in. And to President Porat, Susan and I thank you again for bestowing both of us with these honorary doctorate degrees. We are very proud to join the TAU family. Toda Rabah.